Hey, what's up, guys? So this is my Mateus Asato Signature Stratocaster, and I wanted to come on here and talk about why it's probably the best guitar I've ever owned. So I picked this guitar up about 2 years ago, and I've always been a fan of Suhr. I had one in the past. I had a black, just a standard Classic S a number of years ago, and that was a great guitar as well. And I discovered them actually through Mateus Asato. And I saw this guitar, and I just immediately fell in love with the look of it. I mean, that's what I want to talk about first, is just the aesthetics about this thing it's gorgeous. It's this beautiful pink, mint pick guard. It's got a very nice like 60s style vibe with modern appointments. Obviously they weren't doing this in the 60s. Looks wise, it looks timeless. I like the relic on the guitar. It's been reliced a lot more since I've owned it. Maybe I'll try and get some B-roll shots of how much of a beating this guitar has taken over the last couple years just on tours and such. Not a huge fan of guitars that are like really, really reliced or overly reliced. I'd prefer a guitar with a very light relicking and a nice nitro finish. That way I can do the relicking myself over the course of a lifetime of playing it, which is how it's been with this guitar so far. Yeah, I fell in love with the look of this guitar when I first saw Mateus playing it. I think a lot of people did. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but I'm pretty sure it's been their best, if not one of their best selling signature models, is the Mateus Asato Signature model, obviously due to his popularity and as well as just his keen eye for aesthetics with his other models as well. I've been a Strat player my whole life. It's been the guitar that I've always gravitated to the most. Where I first discovered the Stratocaster was actually this popular show that I was on when I was a kid called Drake and Josh. And there's an episode where Drake, he's a guitar player, and it's like something like
Cherry Red 64 Strat with a whammy bar.
In reality, now going back and watching that episode, it's actually just a Cherry Red Squire Strat.
There she is.
But, me as a little kid, the illusion was there. I was like, oh my god, this amazing vintage guitar. And I think he only pays like...
How much?
$1,200.
$1,200? You have that much? Yeah, but it's like my entire life savings. I was saving that money to buy a tanning bed.
But that started my love affair with the Fender Stratocaster. And then led up to a lot of my inspirations playing guitar: Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer, of course, Eric Clapton, Buddy Guy. A lot of the players that I liked played Stratocasters. And so it just felt fitting that I would play a Stratocaster, and so I got my first proper Strat, I should say, which is this guy. It used to look a lot different than this. I got that 15 years ago in 2010. Me and my grandpa put it together from parts. I can make a video if you guys are interested in that story as well. I will happily make a video on that. And that was my main guitar, and I've owned Strats in between here and there, but for the most part, that's been my main guitar for the last 15 years. And then I kind of wanted to retire it a couple years ago because it's just very sentimental, which, yeah, like I said, led me to buying this guitar. A couple talking points I want to talk about: the good, the bad, the mostly good, and then there's like one thing that I would change. Why I like Suhr guitars: they just work really well. There's not been a single task that I've put this guitar up to that it hasn't pulled off flawlessly. There's not been a single gig I've played where I felt that this guitar didn't deliver tonally or just playability wise. If it gets a little bit off, if the neck shifts at all, it's super easy. It's always been just a very minor tweak of the truss rod. And I'm talking, I've been touring for the last, year, where I've gone from the US all the way to Europe, then from Europe to Australia. I've been over on the East Coast in January, where it's just brutally cold, to hot, humid, like Indonesia and stuff like that. Everywhere I've been, this guitar has traveled with me quite literally all over the world for the last 2 years. And really the most I've ever had to do is just a minor tweak of the truss rod. The guitar stays in tune like nobody's business, barely needs any adjustments. I'm not really someone who likes to have a lot of guitars on stage. The most I've done has been 2, where I took that silver Strat out for a week-long run last year, and I'll take it out as a backup as well. But in terms of like my personal enjoyment, I just like playing one guitar on stage. I don't like having to switch guitars, and so I want one guitar that can do as much as possible. And so having a guitar like this that just does that, it's got locking tuners on it, which of course are a must. I don't really like having a guitar without locking tuners. Usually if I could have a guitar without locking tuners, the first thing I'll do to it, if it's one that I know is going to stick around for a little bit, I switch out the tuners for locking tuners. Just makes string changes quicker, helps with tuning stability. Get locking tuners if you don't have locking tuners. 2-point tremolo obviously just helps with tuning stability as well, and just feels really nice. That's how I have mine set up in the back, and then my guitar is set up with 9.5s. The only thing I've changed on this guitar over the last 2 years is this. So this is no longer a tone pot. This is now a blend knob that I had installed so I can blend together the bridge and neck to kind of get a faux tele. It's not a perfect recreation, but kind of get a faux telly thing going on. Like I said, that way I can have this, just make this guitar that much more versatile. And I try to do that to, whatever my main Strat is. It was on the silver one for a long time. All right, so I'll show you guys how this sounds really quick. So here's just my neck pickup by itself. And that's with it blended together. So it's a really, really useful thing. I'm usually either all the way up or all the way down. I don't really blend it anywhere in the middle. And then as well, of course, I can do all 3 pickups. And here's without. So another fun, kind of usable sound. Obviously, it doesn't get used nearly as often as just the neck and bridge, but it's nice to have as an option there if I like it. So that's just something for me that I like to have to just make this guitar more versatile. The only thing else I will probably see myself changing, because everything else on it is great. I love you, Mateus, but I do want to get a new neck plate. So if you know of any custom neck plate makers, I want to get this guitar's name, which is Miss Gerald, which maybe one day I'll tell that story, engraved. So if you know any custom neck plate makers, or you make a neck plate, leave it down below in the comments or shoot me a message, because I don't need Mateus's face on my guitar. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this guitar has been a really incredible road instrument. It's been worn in quite a lot over the course of the last 2 years, and it's been really fun to see it age as well. The one thing that I'm just not crazy about is the bridge pickup. Not that it sounds bad. I think the pickups do sound great, but I think the balancing of the I believe I got this guitar when they were still the MLs, but now they're called I think the V63 Pluses is what comes with it now. I'll fact check that and confirm. The balancing on them, these feel like really nice and milky and everything like that, and then this feels a little bit brighter than it maybe needs to be. And of course I got rid of the tone knob, whatever. I'll go ahead and show you that bridge pickup and everything comparison too. So here's just my neck pickup. Fourth position. And then bridge pickup. But not bad enough to where I felt a need to change them. I think they still sound phenomenal, but that's kind of maybe why my one critique is this bridge pickup feels a little bit bright sometimes versus how these two sound. But that's really kind of the only flaw I would say. I like the neck profile. It's a good, like, nice medium C neck. Compound radius fretboard, which is nice. Not something I necessarily need, but nice to have. As well as another big thing that I really like about these guitars is roasted maple. And I will say, I feel like Suhr should just make this a standard at this point. One thing I will say is their classic S's. I love their guitars and stuff, but their guitars they're spendy. I believe this guitar currently goes for $3,600 or $3,700 new. And there are other ones, the classic S's, that don't have roasted maple, are around 3,300, 3,000 to 3,300. So having a roasted maple, in my opinion, at least for what I do, absolute must have. I've also, if you can, I don't know if you can tell in the video, I've actually worn, you can see up here, this is a satin. This was a satin finish neck, and I've basically buffed it out. And I've done it on multiple hand guitars over the years. I don't know if it's just a specific thing with my hands or what. Let me know in the comments if you've also done that. But roasted maple, an absolute must-have in my opinion if you're traveling or anything like that. And so, kind of for me, another nice thing, carved neck heel makes getting access all the way up here to the 22nd fret. If you need to get all the way up there, nice and easy. Yeah, for me, kind of the question of, is this guitar worth the price? It really depends. This is not a cheap instrument. I feel incredibly fortunate to have this guitar. I haven't really bought another guitar since I got this guitar. And for me, I would have to say yes, just because of how much work I've gotten out of this instrument, how much I've been able to put it through the paces, and how it's always just worked and never had any issues with it at all, really, like apart from a few minor things like here and there. But so for me, yes, there's plenty of other like wonderful Stratocasters in the $1,000 range and everything like that. So it really depends. It's, if you need a guitar that can do whatever, you pick it up, you're a gigging musician, you want something that's just you're going to pull it out of the case and it works, it sounds good, it feels good, it plays good, it's going to hold tune like nobody's business, and you have $3,600 to spend, absolutely. Like, I think it's well worth the money. The thing that's tough for me is just because it's a bolt-on. I've always kind of felt bolt-ons should not be above $2,500 max outside of vintage markets. But honestly, recently guitars are just getting so much more and more expensive, like even standard series models and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd say it's worth the money, especially if you're someone who's looking for like one guitar. Like you're like, I just need a guitar that's going to just work. It's going to sound good, and I can just plug it in and just fully trust it. I've had that experience with this guitar for the last 2 years. Like I said, only thing I've done to it, blend knob. I put strap locks on it as well. And my only really gripe is just this. I'm not the biggest fan of this pickup, but I don't hate it enough to actively want to change it over the last 2 years. Still think it sounds good. But I felt like I should at least include my one criticism in this video. Yeah, that's this guitar. I love it. It's great. It sounds good. It is good. It's wonderful. I just wanted to give you guys, now that I've had this guitar for 2 years, kind of my thought process on it. If you're thinking about getting one, this is kind of more of a long-term review of someone who's actively used it and gigged it and traveled with it and everything like that. And I've had a wonderful time with this guitar, and I'm very much looking forward to touring with it for a lot longer. I don't see another guitar replacing this anytime soon. So thank you guys so much. If you do like this content, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions below. I'll try my best to get back to you guys. As well as I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we are almost there. So if you like these videos, check out my other content as well. That would mean a lot if you could help out. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.